Hi, thanks for tuning in. Today's workout is, you can think of it in a few different ways. The main idea I'm thinking of is a primer before you go to your martial art practice. Okay, so what we're doing today is five 5-minute rounds of 5 different techniques. Actually, the last round is going to have some variations, but we'll get to that when we get to that. So the idea is not to do a crazy amount of volume. We're not trying to have this super intense workout where we're smoked, and before we go to practice something technical like martial arts, it doesn't really make sense. So the idea is to feel stronger after this workout than before. Okay, so you're not going to martial art practice afterwards? Well, then you can crank it up and make this workout more difficult. So it's just that simple. I'm going to, in the future, be doing more variations of the same thing. So jump right in. We'll set the timer for 5 minutes. Oh, I'll show you the exercise first. So the first thing that we're going to do is the one arm overhead squat. And there's a bit of a continuum in the movement, meaning sometimes I'm going to be bent over more like this way, and then sometimes I'll be more upright. Squats are another kind of squat is coming up later, where we will be more upright. So I'll probably do most of them this way to get more abs involved, a different angle for the shoulder. But I'll play around with a little bit as you'll see. So take your kettlebell, pressed overhead. I'm starting out pretty light here. So I'll look up at the bell. My knees are going to stay over my feet. And I'm going to slide my left hand down by my knee to touch the ground. And then back up. See how my knees are not caving in. That's basically it. I'll give some more pointers as we go along. Basically, keep your shoulder in your socket. Don't shrug your shoulder. The idea for each 5 minutes is to build up in weight to a pretty heavy single or double. Okay, you could do less techniques and work up to a heavier, but without confusing you too much on that. I want to get a good strength practice in without a crazy amount of volume. So I'm going to go up in weight as long as I can keep form, and we'll see what the 5 minutes lets me do. So clean, press, look up at the bell. So right now my glutes and abs are both contract maximally. I'm pulling myself down with my hip flexors. I'm not trying to go down too fast. And I'm not really bracing on the ground. I'm just touching the ground. You can get to where you brace if you want, but just think about this as the warm-up. I'll lose track as I talk. I think that was 3, 4. Okay, about 1 minute has gone by. I'll go up in weight just a little bit. That was 35 pounds. This is 48. I'm thinking about this is starting slow, not in a big hurry. I don't really care too much about how many reps I'm doing, how many sets I'm getting in. I'm thinking, don't do so much that I'm getting tired. I don't want to pay for it later. If you're going to your martial art class afterwards, don't go there already beat up. So. Be a little more straight on this time. I can do more than 2, but I'll stick to 2. It's a good start for me. I'm a little stiff from my workout yesterday, which was kind of a heavy, high volume. So this first 5 minutes, I'm not going too crazy on the weights. So I'm getting my range of motion, getting my joints prepared for what's coming up. So in between sets, just shaking out. Now this is something that you can make a progression out of. Start off kind of medium-ish, easy. Write down how many reps and sets you do with each weight. And then next time try to do a little bit more. You can add more to either all of the 5 different techniques or kind of like one at a time. So just over a minute left for this one. Okay, so just did 2. Still easy. So this is the warm-up. Think about it like that. "35 seconds. Even out. Good. So the idea is just kind of get warmed up, get ready for what's next, which is bent over row. Now, again, this is where we'll start to try to go, we will go heavier. So we have kettlebells up to 159 pounds. You can use dumbbells, you can use a barbell, use whatever you have. These 5 techniques are supposed to be very balanced. So you can throw in a different kind of row. You can do a barbell row or dumbbells, whatever you have, but try to go about as heavy as you safely can for by the end of the 5 minutes. Don't start off as heavy as you can. So I'm not really worried about time in between sets, because I might talk a little bit in between to explain what we're doing, but you can take less time. The idea is for this to be a very concise workout where you can be done in 30 minutes. So it's 5 techniques, 5 minutes each. It's 25 minutes, of course. Your transition time, you can be done in a half hour. This is 70 pounds. Pretty lightish for bent over row for me. 5 minutes. I didn't start it yet. I'll explain the technique. So when you're doing your rows, have a pretty wide stance. Make sure your back stays flat. And really you'll be looking down like this. I'm looking up at the camera to check my own posture and to see what I'm doing here. I'm driving my shoulder back towards my hips. I don't want to be throwing up like this. I'm thinking about my elbow going back more than my hand coming up. Okay, the elbow's coming back. I'm trying to get my shoulder past my hip. Not literally, but just really driving back with the lat. And I'm putting a lot of weight into this arm. So if we're just over here, we're working the big muscles of the lat and your lower back muscles, your spinal erectors will probably fatigue first. Just kind of the way we're built, we would need to work both. So there's not a huge imbalance, but really lean on that. And so then when you go back and forth, your technique can look a little bit different than mine. That's okay. But make sure your back stays flat, the head stays down, shoulder drives towards the hip, good brace on the knee. 5 minutes. A couple reps or so each side. Go to a heavier weight or, work with what you got. Very simple. This is a primer for martial art later. Think about it that way. Or kind of like a recovery workout. I'll go ahead and go up now. I'll go ahead and skip to 88. This is 88 pounds. In between, not in a hurry. Okay, this is, again, I keep saying, preparation for later. Can you see my form better? So I'm going to externally rotate my elbow. You can do it different ways. And just really drive the elbow back towards the hip. No rush in between. Just waking everything up. Getting everything going. You notice I'm letting it swing forward a little bit. It's not just rigid. Let it flow a little bit. I'll go ahead and go up. This is 97. So I don't know how heavy I'll get. We're halfway there. 2.5 minutes. See, the more you do, the more recovery you need. So this kind of workout that I'm showing you here doesn't really take much recovery. Okay, the idea isn't to just get a real smoker in, although you could use this same format to get the smoker in. Okay, you just, instead of doing what I'm saying now, which take your time in between, don't get fatigued, a couple at a time, you just do the opposite. You can use the same series of techniques, but you just go faster, less time in between, and then it becomes like a fight conditioning kind of workout. Okay, you see the difference? It's just in the volume. I didn't do this idea, did I? All right. So that was 97. We're gonna go ahead and jump up to 123. It says 56 on that side. That's kilograms, in case you're looking. I wouldn't lie to you. So just have time for a couple more each. And yes, you should jerk. Okay, sometimes you do want to go slow, but this time, jerk. Make it explosive. Somebody's pulling your arm in for an arm bar, you get it back. You're pulling for somebody else's arm, pull tight. Oh, too much jabbing. Jabbing. Get it? Okay. Okay. Not a crazy amount, right? But still getting some work done. That's the idea. Priming the body for what's next. In between. So the one arm jerk is next. I'm still going to start off fairly medium-ish. I'll start with 53 pounds. So one of the reasons I do that row, or you might do that row before the presses. Well, one, we're using our pressing power when we're doing the one arm overhead squat. It's a little bit of pressing power, even though we only press it the one time to get it up there, but you're holding the arm upright rather than pulling, right? So then we pull pretty heavy. So when I do 123, so now when I go to the 53 pounds, I pick it up and it feels really light. Whereas when I was first picking it up as part of my warm up on the first set, where I got to like 48, it felt heavier just a little bit ago than what it does now. Okay, so it's working. It's already working. You should be able to feel it working. Because why does 53 pounds feel lighter than 48? Because of the priming I've been doing. Okay. So the one arm jerk. This technique kind of eludes some people. But so you'll clean the bell, dip down, really drive up as hard as you can with your legs. While the bell, you kind of like relax your arm, kind of, and then as the bell is traveling up from momentum, you sink under it and then let your arm be straight while your knees are still bent, and then push up. Okay. And a key point about the clean, once you swing the elbow back, it stays there, and then you clean the bell with your hips. Five minutes. Same thing. Just think of it as priming. Just a couple reps. So that was 53. This is 66. Not in a hurry for it. So 2 of those, pretty easy. I'm still priming. I wasn't warming up to get to this. This whole workout is to prime the whole body for a martial art practice, say in an hour or something. I actually don't, I'm not going to one tonight, but that's the idea. Or maybe when you're watching this, I am. But as of right now, I'm not. But right now for you, maybe I am. You can clean the belt in between each one, or just go back down to the rack. So that's just going back down to the rack. And that's the clean in between. Three minutes left. Okay, let's go into 70. So a lot of what I do isn't just as much as you possibly can that day. Sometimes we do that, okay? It can depend on training frequency, what else you have going on. Are you combining your strength with martial art? Are you doing both in the same day? Priorities, okay? There's different reasons why we take, like say, fairly medium day, like now, 5 minute sets, where I'm gonna be feeling stronger afterwards, or I could get us a workout in 25 minutes that leaves us smoked. Go ahead and move up. $79. So I can do more with the 70. Let's see how high I get up today. My best is 123 with one arm. I've done 115, more than that. And I should be able to hit like 106 any day. So, 79. Ooh. We'll go ahead and 88. Maybe 88 is as much as we'll do today. That's all right. You don't have to get to your max. And the bell is going to probably ring before I'm done. Go ahead and even out. All right. All right. Next one is called a kettlebell squat and march. All right. So this is 48 pounds. Shouldn't really matter to you too much how much weight I'm doing. I'm just giving you some reference. That's all. So the way that we're going to hold the bell is a way that we should be able to hold it as comfortably as possible. Okay, you could do these from a rack position. You could do these like two hands holding one kettlebell in front, but I'm going to put it on the back. So what I'm going to do that is I'm going to put my palms forward to grab the horns of the kettlebell. Okay, then I'm going to sweep it out to the side and rest it on my back. Like that. Okay, and then have my arms on the front. This is pretty comfortable. All right, so I'm going to squat, make sure my knees stay over my feet, a little parallel. And then I'm going to transfer to one side while I lift one knee up and come up on the balls of my feet. Back down to the, we'll call this ready position, I guess. Squat down and transfer. And when you transfer the weight, your head will be over your foot. I was just going to emphasize the balance, and I went off balance. So go nice and slow. Of course, you can do it explosively, but I'm not going to go real crazy on the weight here. I'm not sure what I'll move up to. I'm going to be working on the balance of that. Okay, think like, so when we're coming this way, the balance of kicks. Of course, you're not going to have a weight on your back when you're doing kicks. But balance is balance. It's all going to overlap. We have to be really careful how we talk about sport-specific training. Okay, so and I'm like, yeah, this is for priming the body before you go to martial art practice. It's okay if you're not a martial artist, you can still do this stuff. It'll help you in all sorts of ways. Stronger is stronger, better is better. Stronger is better, and better is better. 5 minutes. So we're priming the legs, not trying to get some smoker leg workout, unless that's what you want. Okay, just know the difference. So palms in front, come around this way, get the kettlebell rested on the back, let it sink down, elbows can come forward. It should be pretty comfortable for you. Okay. Five minutes can be a long time, so. Inhale before you go down. Exhale at the top. Okay, if you're doing this barefoot, make sure you're, or even, no matter what, make sure you're, see how if I put too much weight on the arch of my foot, it caves in a little bit. Make sure the weight stays on the outside of your foot. Three minutes, I'm gonna go up and wait a little bit. These weights are out of order. Can't have that. So while 5 minutes is going on, just like the other ones, if you need a little break, take a little break. Palms forward, grabbing the horns, lift up, and then shift to the side. Let it sink down to the shoulder blades. This should be fairly comfortable right here. You finding one leg easier to balance on? I'm gonna go up a little bit. Oh, I thought there was more time than that. We'll go to 66. So I have one more left. I didn't see what time it was when I started, but once you get used to these, I mean, you can make it, if you want to make it a 30-minute workout, 5 different things, a minute in between, it'd be 29 minutes, but something like that is probably about right. So again, what I'm doing here is not to get some tremendous leg workout, tremendous arm workout. It's preparing for what's next, okay? That's the idea. And then if you do want it to be tremendous workout another way, for other reasons, then go ahead and do that. Like if you're not going to martial arts afterwards, you can do the same routine and go ahead and get it smoking. Do the 5-minute sets, whatever. If you need to adjust the time to you need more time to go heavier, whatever. And since maybe that 5-minute set might be really tough, then maybe have 2 minutes in between sets, 3 minutes even. Okay, so feel free to like play with the rest periods and understand why you're doing what you're doing. Okay, the last thing, I'm going to show you some variations. So one will be pull over and sit up. Now, the way I'm going to grab the bell, I think you can see, one hand is going to go underneath the handle, palm down, and grab the bell this way. Okay, just in case something happens to slip, you'll see, because it's going to be over your face, your hands are going to be sweaty. It gives you a little more safety. Okay, you can still see me, right? So my left hand is under the handle, right hand's on the bottom. I can bring it to my chest first. Press it up. I'm using 44 pounds here. So bring the kettlebell back to the floor. And as I do my pull over, you can do your sit up. Okay. All right. Okay, so you can do pull over, set the bell down on your hips, do your bridge. Okay. Another variation, not exactly variation, it's a different thing completely, is to, so turn to this, whenever you grab your kettlebell from the side, lean towards that side and use that other hand to help push up. So then I have it in just one hand, and I'm just gonna do my like crunch up this way, like half get up, not quite a half get up. Okay. That way. All right. I may throw something else in there, but that'll be the main thing. So I think you can see. So it's over here. Okay, let's leave it. So I mean, the half get up is here. Okay, we've already been working our shoulders, kind of, right? And the idea isn't to burn out the shoulders. The idea is to focus more on the abs right now. So I don't want to be using my pressing strength. I just want to be using I need to get up with a weight on top of me strength. I may throw something else in there, but we'll start with that. So pull over, sit up, and then bridging back. Okay, so I don't know how heavy I'll get. The idea isn't to go too crazy. And of course, your opponent is going to weigh more than your kettlebell. But it's to prime that action. Last thing, 5 minutes. You should be feeling plenty strong. Unless your goal is different. So my right hand's on the bottom of the kettlebell. I tilted it. So just bring it to my chest. Make sure I got a good grip. Press it over. Going to look like you can let it hit the ground each time. pull over, sit up, just put it right in your lap. Bridge up so my glutes are activated maximally. Okay. You can also keep them up. You know, this kind of thing, but that's not going to be as hard of a sit up. Just play around with it. Okay. And that makes a harder sit up like that. Make sure you're setting the bell down gently. And if you're using this as a primer, don't feel like you have to be moving the whole 5 minutes. Try to keep moving the whole 5 minutes if you're using this as the main thing that you're doing. There's a saying that my buddy says, he's like, the main thing is to make the main thing the main thing. Smart. So let's work on some of these kind of like half or crunch variations. So if I have my kettlebells in my right hand, my right foot will be flat on the floor, my left leg will be out, and I'm just turning towards it. Switch sides. Okay. The same as like if you're doing a hip escape or something, you shift your hips out that way towards the bell. Okay, a key point on these also, if you can't tell, when I'm coming up, I'm really driving into the ground with this free elbow. So if my kettlebell's in my left hand here, I'm really driving off of my elbow. Just under a minute. Go back to the sit up and bridge. Okay. My hand is under between the handle and the ball. Not in a big hurry here. That's it. Okay. I hope you can see how you can make this a primer for what's next. I feel pretty strong now. I feel ready to go. Key point there is working my way up to not the craziest heavy weight that I can do, but get in the ballpark, and moderate reps. Okay. Thanks for tuning in. To like get a cool down in between. Like in strong first, we call these fast and loose techniques. They're just like shaking out your leg, like there's water on them. Just get rid of that tension. So feel free to send me a message. Let me know what you think. We'll see you next time.